Well, welcome into My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital. I'm Landon. This is Austin, and you are watching what went right, what went wrong, and what was missing for Mississippi State against Tennessee. Mississippi State went into Tennessee on Saturday night and ended up losing 33-14 in the game. So we're going to talk about what went right for Mississippi State. I think there's some positives in this game, what went wrong, and ultimately what was missing. There's a lot of those last two. Mississippi State falls to 0-6 in the SEC, Austin, and 2-8 on the season. Tennessee goes 8-1 and 5-1 in the conference. Man,
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts. It was a tough game to watch. It was definitely a tough game to watch, but like you said, there was definitely some positives. I don't want to just talk negatively about the game. There definitely was some positives that we were able to see, and yeah, I mean, I think I picked 17 to 48, like 48 to 17, and it was only 30, and they only dropped 33. So I wasn't too mad at it, but it was still not a very positive game, especially offensively. Our offense played very bad most of the game, and defensively, I mean, I thought they were going to score 48 points on us, and I didn't think, I thought our defense was just going to let them get exactly what they want. I know Nico obviously it factors into that. He didn't play a lot of the second half; he was out. But I think, I mean, I don't want to take that away from Tennessee, but I mean, I do feel a little bit better. So going into my right, I would pick defense just showed a little will. Like, I mean, they like a little willpower just to they didn't go out there and just flat out play, lights out defense, but they showed a little fight. Like just a lot. There was some guys, Hunter Washington showed a lot of fight. Isaac Smith, Stone Blanton. There was a couple guys that really went out there and played pretty well. And after they haven't been playing well all season. So for the right, I'd say the defense just having the willpower just to try to do something. Like I said, I thought they were going to drop 48 on us, and that was not the case. So that is my right.
yeah. Well, you mentioned Isaac Smith. Isaac Smith, 20 tackles in this game. I mean, he's obviously been been going crazy on the tackles. But he played well. And you're right, Hunter Washington, had that scary injury at the end there. I love the picture of Brylan Lanier kind of staying with him during that time, kind of praying over him. I thought that was really neat. But yeah, Hunter Washington played well, delivered a boom, got the from Dylan Sampson, and got the fumble recovery from there as well. So he played well. Defense did have a lot of I don't know, a lot of positives is a tough thing to say, but I'm going to say this. I think the defense, um, overall, there's a lot of good things to take away from this game on the defense. And I think there's a lot of blame towards the offense in this game. Really, I mean, really, you think about the score in this game going into the late in the third quarter. Mississippi State was only down 9 points. Could have gone for two, made it an 8 point game. Um, I'll tell you what went right for me in this game. But before I do, just want to let you guys know that one of our wonderful sponsors, ARPA's Coffee and Bar, is a place you should visit in the Cotton District. ARPA's understands that great food and drinks are best enjoyed in the company of friends and loved ones. So, Austin's got some coffee right now. Their awesome atmosphere creates a perfect backdrop for laughter, conversation, and good memories. And whether you're seeking a good spot to catch up over some coffee, like Mr. Austin there, or just a lively gathering spot to celebrate special occasions, a late night hangout, um, their friendly staff is dedicated to ensuring your experience is nothing short of exceptional. So make sure you visit them. They're located in the heart of Starkville in the Cotton District, kind of right behind Two Brothers. Mention My Dogs Are Barking whenever you're checking out, and you will get 15% off of your entire order. And if you're like, I don't really even, well, what is ARPA's? I'm not sure. Go follow them on Instagram. Like, dude, there were several players from the football team they were there the other night. They were posting on their stories. Like their food, man, just is awesome stuff. So go check them out and make sure you mention My Dogs Are Barking and get 15% off of your order. What went right for me in this game is kind of like right along with you. I think the defense held their own for as long as they could versus a really good team. And towards the end of the game, I know people are getting frustrated and they're giving up a lot of yards to the backup running back. But Mississippi State's defense really held them in this game. And if the team had a Showtime type of offense, this game might be different, or at least is closer, than the final score. I think 19 points is the total that they won by. But the defense at some point just was on the field so long that they didn't have anything else left. And I know Nico got hurt, but he still played a whole half against us, and the game was in reach. So the offense held him back, which we will get to here in just a second. Austin, what went wrong for Mississippi State in this game?
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about defensively being a positive, you have to look offensively, particular just, I mean, mainly the offensive line, but Michael Van Buren as well. I mean, I hate to talk, like, I just harp on a freshman being in the wrong category, but it's true. I mean, he was shaky all game. He had a little bit more confidence, especially he was able to get some pretty good runs in that second half. But I mean, that Hunter Washington, we forced a fumble, great play by Hunter Washington. The next play, interception from Michael Van Buren. Like it was a lot of just predetermined throws where he's hiking it, throwing it just because he doesn't have a lot of time. And his clock is just like, I got to throw it now. And a lot of forced throws that he did not need to make. And the offensive line is not giving him any help at all. So that's why I can't just put the blame on him, because offensively, the offensive line was not playing great. But I mean, Tennessee's defensive line, we knew this coming in is one of the best, if not, I mean, they could be the best in the country. There's definitely an argument for that for sure. But yeah, the offensive line did not play well. Michael Van Buren was playing shaky, road game, night game, all game, and yeah, that was definitely a wrong, which could have been a big right going into this game.
Yeah, I mean, because if you're down, like you're down, 8 or down 9. The defense just held as long as they could, and then finally, but like you're down 8 or 9, or you're down 9, but it's because the offense still only had 14 points. Like you're down 9 there late in the third quarter, but if you had an entire first half where you only scored 7 points, and I know Tennessee's defense is really good. All those things are true, but I mean, if you have an offense that is capable, this is just a different game. I don't know. It's crazy to think they could not score over 14. And obviously I know they worked it in. Michael Van Buren had some. He had a pass over the middle to Kevin Coleman that was big time. But they're having to come back. They had not taken care of business early. So what went wrong for Mississippi State? The offense it did not look like showtime. It did not look like they were marching down the field with consistency. Van Buren he looked like a freshman. He looked like a freshman on the road, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense because he's already played on the road at Texas. He's already played on the road at Georgia. It's odd that, but I mean, this was a night game, and he had not played a night game previous to that. If I'm not, no, he played a night game in Georgia, right?
No, I think it was a daytime game. I think it was like 2:30, 3 o'clock kickoff. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
okay. I guess the sun was setting towards the very end of it, but yeah, you're right.
Maybe.
This might have been the very first the first time. Although we had to give a shout out to Davon Booth. I mean, Davon Booth looked really good. The running game overall kept this game from being further than it was. Davon Booth had 20 carries for 125 yards. Johnny Daniels 10 carries, 63 yards. They both had a touchdown in the game. Overall, running for 180 yards rushing. Van Buren only was able to get 92 yards in the air, and obviously had that interception that just did not look good. Before we move into the wrong portion of like what was missing for Mississippi State, I got to say this, Austin. After Nico goes out, Gaston Moore, the Tennessee quarterback, comes in the game, was 5 for 8 for 38 yards. Every single person knew who was getting the ball and what Tennessee was going to do because they didn't have to throw it. They were already ahead. Everyone knew what was going to happen. And yet, like, why was Mississippi State not stacking the box? Like, why were they not trying? They knew he was going to run. And then when they did not, or when they weren't running it, they were throwing it deep. In the 3 pass interferences from them not turning their heads around. Oh, the defense is it's so frustrating, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you talk about 20 tackles from Isaac Smith. I mean, all the props goes to him. But the reason he was able to get 20 tackles is because Dylan Sampson is 8 yards down the field. I mean, Isaac Smith is a safety, and he's not tackling them at the at where it's not a 1 yard gain when Isaac Smith's tackling them. It's because he's getting through everybody, and Isaac Smith's that last resort. He's got to come in and make a play because nobody else is going to. And so that's the reason Isaac Smith was able to get all those tackles, just because he's the only one that, he's a headhunter. He wants to go get tackles. Nobody else, looks like they're just in their own little world sometimes, especially in that fourth quarter. They looked absolute gassed. And then, I literally told you, I said, if they want to beat us, I would literally just throw it down deep every time, because we're going to get a pass interference, or we're just not, or it's going to be blown. So it was rough, especially those deep balls. The 2 touchdowns early for them to get them to 14 were just 2 massive throws. And it's not like it was a great throw by Nico. It was just an unbelievably wide open play where we were just leaving them wide open. And so props to Isaac Smith for the 20 tackles, but nobody else just wants to go tackle. But I do agree with you. Oh man, it was rough. We got to go get some corners back in the portal. It's a must. Corners has got to be one of the best. And like you brought it up too. You said we're just not well coached there. We look, our guys just look like they really don't know what they're doing. So we got to go get
why wouldn't you at least turn your head? Like at least, like if you're gonna get beat, just do something to turn your head and to look. It was obvious. It was obvious pass interference. And look, I know there's some fans that are gonna be like, well, they shouldn't have called it, in bad call. But like, how about you give them an opportunity not to call it? Turn your head, do something. But you can't just not turn your head and hold an arm with the jersey and expect it not to be called. It was just bad. I guess the frustrating thing for a lot of fans is that it could have gone another way, or had been closer had the offense had some things rolling. And when State is the defense got another stop, so State got the ball back down 9, right, and they're at the 50 or so. Like, it looked good. It looked like they were about to go down and score again. And Van Buren is stripped and sacked, and Tennessee ball. And same thing. I know fans are like, well, that maybe that was our ball. I think the ref made the right call based on his judgment. I know Mississippi State came out with the ball at the end, but it did look like a Tennessee player jumped on it. It was just once the ball was loose, I thought it's over. It's over. So even then, they still had a shot to make it even closer down late. But the offense is just, they're missing some pieces overall. Sadie Traore, who's such a big part of this offense, I don't feel like he was very involved. I think we saw, is it Cam Ball who was playing, or was it Justin Ball? Who's 84?
That's Justin Ball. Cam Ball, I think, is number 10.
Yeah, I saw him on the field a lot. What was missing from this game? I'll just say my portion. Well, before we get to that portion, a lot of things are missing. I will say, on Thursdays we always do our against the odd picks. That's always where we pick, and Austin and I each pick one underdog money line pick. Austin chose LSU over Alabama. That did not work out. I chose Michigan over Indiana, and that did not work out, though it was a closer game than the experts thought. But still, we missed it. We missed it. So if you did not choose us this week, you certainly did not get rich. But hey, what does it mean to be rich? Maybe it's less about reaching a magic number and more about discovering the magic in life. Skip Langley is your Batesville, Mississippi, Edward Jones advisor, serving clients in the area and across the state. And you can count on him for financial strategies that can help support a life you love. Because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. So contact him today at 662-563-9843. And together, you can find your rich. Edward Jones, member SIPC. What was missing in this game? And don't go anywhere yet. We got some good stuff to talk about for what's upcoming on the show this week. And then we're also going to recap a couple of the games this weekend. Big week in the state of Mississippi. What was missing in this game? I'll just make it short and sweet. The offense finishing drives. They had moments where Davon Booth would rip off. I'm telling you, he is a boomer bust guy. Davon Booth is either running for 12 yards or he's running for -2. It's one or the other. I can think of only one time where he got like 2 or 3 yards on a play. He's big time boomer bust. He played well, but the offense couldn't finish it beyond that.
Yeah, for me, my missing was, you said the word. It was earlier in the show. It's showtime. Showtime was 1,000,000% missing. There was no, the offense. You cannot be feeling good about this offense coming out of this. Hopefully, they got a lot of stuff to work on in the next 2 weeks. But Jeff Lebby, I feel like a lot of the play calls were not very great, and but just the offense was. And I do know Tennessee does have a great defense, and props to them for sure. But just plain and simple, Showtime was 1,000,000% missing.
Yeah, and Mississippi State's going to get a bye week this week and get some time to chill. Hopefully, get healthy. This Wednesday on My Dogs Are Barking, very excited about this. Mississippi barbecue legend Malcolm Reed is on the show, and I am really looking forward to that. Malcolm's going to talk about some different options, different things. If you are a person that loves barbecue, loves to smoke, he's going to give us some tips. Also, give us some suggestions on what to smoke on the grill this weekend, on your smoker this weekend on the grill, since it is a bye week for Mississippi State. And I don't know about you, man. I'd love to be doing some grilling since there's going to be a bye week. So make sure you listen to that. Really looking forward to having Malcolm on the show. I love to smoke and to grill. And I've been using Malcolm's products for a long time. And also, if you are cooking the turkey this year, I might ask him a question about that because his kind of method in doing so has been something I've been doing, cooking for the family for the past couple of years. It's fantastic. So make sure you listen to that on Wednesday. Before we get to that, Austin, look, man, we can't avoid it. Ole Miss beats Georgia in one of the biggest games in Ole Miss history. Probably the biggest, if we're honest about it. Ole Miss's offense really looked good. Pardon me, defense looked really good in the second half. Honestly, the entire game, they win 28-10. I mean, they looked really good. Jackson Dart gets knocked out of the game. Austin Simmons, true freshman, comes in, and despite Ole Miss not really being able to run the ball incredibly well, they just had a great game through the air. Ole Miss now is 8-2, 4-2 in the conference. This sets up Austin for a Egg Bowl, an Egg Bowl. We'll call it. We'll call it an Egg Bowl opportunity, an Egg Bowl with Ole Miss and Mississippi State. If Ole Miss continues to win out, they are going to the playoff. If they slip up at all, they're out. But they got a really big win over the weekend, and now also looks like they might also get the number one player in Mississippi, a guy that Mississippi State fans really want. Caleb Cunningham.
Yeah, and things are looking like he's gonna flip from Bama to Ole Miss. But yeah, this one really hurt, to be honest. Props to you. You got it right. You said Ole Miss was gonna win. Georgia just looked rough. Carson Beck looked rough. I mean, he leads the SEC in interceptions, and by like 2 or I think 3. Like, I mean, it's it's not even close. It's rough out there for Georgia fans offensively. They really just struggled. And props to Ole Miss defense, the Ole Miss defense and offense. I mean, really, it was they came to play. Ole Miss came to play. Just put it plain and simple. I think they're sitting at a 72% chance of making the playoff. It looks like they're going to make the playoff. And shout out. I mean, I gotta give props to Ole Miss. I got to. This is a major win, and a win that I did not think they were going to get, but they really stopped and shut down that Georgia defense and the Georgia offense. So shout out to Ole Miss.
Yeah, I get it. This is a Mississippi State podcast, but it's an SEC podcast, and we'd be remiss if we didn't mention it. Like, Ole Miss overall is in a much better position than Mississippi State is in several different ways. Now, I'll say this. You never know how things are going to flip around. And the only reason I bring that up is 2016. Yeah, 2016. I remember Ole Miss was having a year with Hugh Freeze, and they had gotten A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown obviously was playing out of his mind. Mississippi State had suffered a loss versus, I don't know, South Alabama week 1. And it looked like that because and Ole Miss is coming off 2 like 10-win seasons, something like that. And I remember saying at that point, man, it looks like Ole Miss is going to dominate the next like 3 to 4 years. It just did. It just looked like Ole Miss had everything going right. And Mississippi State looked like they're kind of trending downward. But you just never know how things are going to turn out. You don't know what's going to happen. So it's not all she wrote by any means. But at the moment, like, Ole Miss is in an outstanding position. And I'd be silly if I didn't mention this, Austin, but Mississippi State has an opportunity, not a probable one, not a likely one, but an opportunity to ruin Ole Miss's season in the Egg Bowl. And that is as unlikely as that is. We know how weird this game is. We know how odd it is to watch this game every year and have it be a lot closer than it really should be. Almost every single season. So Mississippi State has a chance there at the end of the season in Oxford to play spoilers, because right now they are on Ole Miss is on absolute cloud nine, as they should be. I mean, they've overcome a lot, and Georgia looks like they are slipping big time. This week though, Ole Miss is going on the road at Florida, and Florida is a bad team, man. Florida looked really, really bad yesterday, and then they finished the season versus Mississippi State. If you had to guess right now, Austin, is Ole Miss making the playoff?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have any chance. I mean, I don't think Florida's going to have any chance with them. And then we'll break this game down in about 2 weeks. But let's just say if we were to play today, I'm picking Ole Miss.
Well, and the week of the Egg Bowl on this show is on this network overall. MPW Digital is going to be going. They're going to be doing some numbers when it comes to the week of the Egg Bowl. There's going to be a lot of things going on. As we sit right now, I was kind of curious about this. Like, also, Ole Miss is not guaranteed to go to the SEC championship game. Like Tennessee is 5-1 in conference play. A&M's 5-1. Texas is 4-1, but they play each other head to head. So at the moment, I guess that would mean, unless Tennessee drops another one, I think that means that Ole Miss is going to be going or will not be going to the SEC championship, which might be a good thing for them. That does mean that they would not get a bye. That's not a great thing, but it's another opportunity to have your guys kind of rested. So, wow, we'll see how it goes. It was a big week. Alabama, obviously, they don't play Ole Miss this season, but they looks like they're going to be in the same situation, barring a loss, which they will not have one. Auburn's really bad. Man, these last 2 weeks are going to be huge for the SEC. Any closing thoughts? Also, as we finish out, as I mentioned, we will be back on Wednesday, I believe.
No, yeah, like you said, guys, make sure y'all are checking out MPW Digital. Whole lot of content, not just us. There's so much content on this. It is insane. Make sure y'all are subscribed. Just a touch up on little MSU basketball. We got a good win against Georgia State. Was it Georgia State we played? Good game. It was a good game. I mean, just offense came to play. I mean, we dropped, I think we hit over 100. It was like 100, 102, something like that. It was offensively, we played amazing. I think that, I don't want to overreact, but I feel like we can compete offensively with anybody in the country right now. I mean, I know we played two teams that are not very good, but we're hitting open shots. And we got some guys who can make some unbelievable layups, some reverse lay. I mean, just very good at the rim so far. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you want to touch up on this game too, but it was a phenomenal win for the Bulldogs as we start out 2-0.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and Georgia State, who I thought would be a little more competitive, but no. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it just seems like there's multiple scores for Mississippi State. Last season, when Josh Hubbard couldn't get going, Tolu Smith kind of struggled all season. And when Hubbard could not get going, Jeffries was not shooting the ball well. Shaquille Moore was not shooting the ball well. Deshaun Davis had some times where he had to kind of carry the load. Chris Jans, I think, specifically recruited this team so that there's multiple shooters. Kanye Clary looks really good. Claudel Harris looks really good. RJ Melendez can shoot the ball and defend. There's several options other than Josh Hubbard, and that's big time if you're Mississippi State. On Tuesday, Mississippi State plays southeastern Louisiana, I think. Yeah, southeastern Louisiana. A big game a big game on Sunday though. They are playing Utah, and then a couple days later playing SMU, and then UNLV in the 28th. Man, they got some big games going on. But yeah, if you're a Mississippi State fan, make sure. If you are a Mississippi State fan, I am sure that you are excited for what's to come. We'll make sure we cover Mississippi State basketball. We have a lot of good stuff. As we mentioned before, we are big time into covering MSU basketball, and there's a lot of things to be excited about for them this season. But we want to wrap this show up so we don't go too long. So thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you listen to us Wednesday with Malcolm Reed. Hope you guys liked the My Dogs Are Barking extra with the mayor of Knox County, Glenn Jacobs, a.k.a. Kane. That was awesome. That was so cool. We want to be able to do stuff like that, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. make sure you're following us on Twitter at MyDawgsPod. And we will see you guys next time. This has been My Dogs Are Barking. What went wrong? What went right? What went wrong? And what was missing against Tennessee? Thanks for listening.